I don't know. Getting out of Dodge is good.
We go. We ready?
Yeah.
Okay. You go by Mercedes, right? And what was your first name again? I've got it
DeLynda.
written somewhere, but what?
DeLynda.
Spell it.
Capital D-E, capital L-Y-N-D-A.
And your last name was
Aguirre, A-G-U-I-R-R-E.
All right. And do you have a number you can be reached at?
661-7894.
And obviously, you know what's going on while you're here today. I believe you reached out to Mr. Way. This is your legal representation for this interview. I'm the lead investigator on a case involving, is this your boyfriend, or what is your current relationship with Walter or Cole?
As of now, we're not together, but
Previously, you guys were in
Yeah.
a relationship?
yeah.
Okay. And that would be what kind of, was it like a romantic relationship, boyfriend-girlfriend type
Yeah.
thing? And a lot of these questions I'm asking, I know the answers to,
Yeah, I know.
but just getting clarification and
Yeah.
getting you to tell me versus me hearing it from other people and stuff like that. Okay, so you obviously know what happened. And again, I'm hearing this stuff secondhand, but I want to hear it from you. So you can just start at the beginning and tell me what happened and what you know about the whole thing. And I'll ask you some questions and clarify some things. But I do want to say I appreciate your willingness to come in here. This is a very serious thing, and it takes a lot of courage to come in here. And I do appreciate that. And I appreciate you being strong enough to come in here and do that. It's not an easy thing to do. I mean, the easy thing to do would be to, turn and run, but this is the right thing to do. So I just ask you to be truthful. That's the biggest thing here. Just be honest, be forthcoming. If you don't know the answer to a question, it's okay to say I don't know. Don't feel like you have to answer something the way I want it answered.
Yeah.
Okay? So let's just start at the beginning and tell me what you know about the incident and what occurred, what was relayed to you, everything.
He called me, I believe it was Sunday morning.
Okay, and this is
Sunday morning.
Cole?
Yeah, Cole.
And this is, do you know his real name?
Walter Colson Rayborn.
Okay.
I need you to go through this. It helps when if you know everybody's full name, you can just tell them the full name all the way through, so you can keep the names straight. I know it's hard.
And he's your boyfriend. He called you Sunday.
And I think it was around like 7 in the morning when he called me. And he had told me
What number did he call from?
on his cell phone number. And
Do
I
you
don't
have
know.
that?
I have it in my phone.
I have it.
I don't know it.
We have some text messages back and forth if you're going to, I told Jim I had to know if you wanted it.
Okay, yeah. Is that okay?
Absolutely. I got it right here.
Should, can I get a consent form?
Absolutely. Whatever you
I'll
want to
get
do.
a consent form.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have them look at pertinent stuff.
Yeah.
459-7803.
This is the one I had from weeks ago, if it's not changed.
That's the same.
Yeah. And if there were some threats on there that he had made to her previously that had gone back and forth, I didn't know how much of that you needed.
Okay.
And he had texted her some threatening information prior to this whole thing happening.
Okay. I do want to address one thing. There's 2 ways we can get information out of a phone. We can either do what's called a cell brag report, which extracts everything, or we can take digital photos. Is there anything that you don't want us looking at on your phone?
I would say just pictures that me and him have sent back and forth to one another. And really, there's just one on there.
Is there anything in those pictures that would be pertinent to this case
No.
at all? Nothing like
Nothing
that?
at all.
Okay.
Can you delete that photo before we give him the phone?
No, because it's like the way the iPhones are now, like you can go back and it shows what you've sent no matter if you've deleted it or not.
All right, we'll figure something out.
I mean,
They're not going to be looking at your
I don't care
make it
about
fair.
that.
Yeah, I know.
I'm investigating a double homicide.
Yeah,
They're
I
not
don't
gonna
care
put you on
about
the
that.
internet.
Yeah, you're not. They're
This
not
is
gonna,
their, if.
Don't worry about
If it gets seen, it gets seen. They're not going to be ones bidding.
Found you in bed together, so I think they got the full picture.
Right. Are you okay with that? Are you okay with me
Yeah.
getting that information? Let me go get a consent form. I'll have your attorney look at it. It's our standard
I know,
form.
it's no problem.
So-
I told her about it.
Just for her peace of mind.
Yeah,
I'll grab that real quick.
Yeah, they're not gonna be putting. And your mom said, which is good. So he's not gonna come at you at the, we're gonna hold you later routine. So. And see, I'll drop the thing in there, all the threatening stuff, and I'll try to. Yeah. Tell him everything, just lay off the sex hours thing. I do, you know what I'm talking about, just don't get into that.
You want to look at that before I fill it out?
Does this thing have a password code on it?
Mhm.
And what's the passcode?
It's
Is it a thumbprint?
a thumbprint, but I've got an access code, but I think it's just the number. It's the center numbers all the way up. So
0850 0852.
Yeah, that's what it would be.
All right, this is just the phone thing. What's the passcode?
0852.
All right. What this means is you're consenting to them taking the phone and doing the phone bright search. They're not going to worry about any photographs, and if you send an email someone saying, hey, I want to buy a dime bag, they don't care about that crap either. But they're going to hold on to your phone and use it in conjunction with their investigation, and then the detective will notify me, and I'll come pick the phone back up.
I may be able to get it done right now.
Yeah, so,
And just get it right back to you.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take it out while we're doing this interview, you and I can talk, and then they can be working on that. And then hopefully, if they're not swamped, I'll ask them to try and expedite it so we can get it right back to you. I can't guarantee that, but I'll do my best.
yeah, if all else fails, I'll come get it. All right, there you go. Yeah. And then you can obviously find the text through his cross-reference his number. Okay. 416. Is this Apple?
Mhm.
iPhone? Bless you.
Just fill the rest of it out, have you look at it, verify it.
Okay.
Did you disable the thumbprint, or is this just, it will it?
Yeah, whenever like you do it, it'll come up and it'll ask for like thumbprint, but if you just swipe this way, it gives you the option to do the code.
Okay.
So you don't have to have, that's why it gives you either or.
Got it. Put that on there. We're ahead of the game. Let me see if I can get somebody to do this.
I got it.
Right there, all right. Okay. That was a long interruption, and I apologize for it.
That's all right.
Go ahead and tell me from where you left off.
He had called me around like 7 o'clock in the morning, and when I answered the phone, he was acting like very frantic, and he wouldn't tell me what happened. And he said, I just need to come to your house. I'm dropping Brandon off at his house, and I'm coming to yours. And I said, okay, well, why don't you tell me what's going on? He's like, I can't talk on the phone about it, but it's something really, really bad. And I said, okay. And then it actually took him a couple hours to get back in touch with me. And then he finally called me when he was in Havana, and he had called me and said that he ran out of gas, so I needed to come into Havana and come get him. So I drove into like the middle of Havana, and when I pulled up, he was pushing his truck up into like a parking lot. And I got out of the car, and I went to him, and I was like, what's going on? And he got out of the car, he didn't have a shirt on, and he had told me that something had gone wrong and that he had killed 2 people. And I didn't really register in my mind. And so I was like, I don't know what to do. And he was like, I need to get my clothes off. I need to take all these clothes off. I need to burn them, this and that. And I was like, Cole, do you not realize where you are right now? Like, we're standing right by a road. There's cars coming by. Like, put your clothes on. Like, he was taking his clothes off, and like he was basically hanging out of his pants. And I was like, you need to put your clothes on. So I put his clothes on, and I was like, you need to go get in my car. And I sat him in my car, and then I drove him up the road to a gas station. I bought a gas tank thing, and I put like a couple dollars in it, and I went back to his truck, and I filled his truck up. And I told him to follow me to his friend's house, who also lived in Havana, and his name is Chris Gerald. And we went to his house, and once we got there, Cole took off all of his clothes, and he put them in a barrel that Chris Gerald had in the back of his house, and he set it on fire. And then he came back, he got back in my car, and we drove back to my house. And then me and him showered, and then after that he got in my bed, and he passed out for a couple of hours till later on that night. And when he woke up, he was, kissing on me and stuff, and I was like, I don't want to, kiss you right now. Like, what the hell, what's going on? Like, what happened? And he had looked down at his arm, and he noticed that, there was a cut on his arm. And he said, oh my God, it wasn't a bad dream. He said, Mercedes, I'm going to go away for the rest of my life. I killed 2 people. And I said, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And he said, look it up he said, pull up WCTV right now. And I pulled it up on my phone, and that's when I had read online that the police had responded to a fire at the 2700 block of Clark Street.
Okay. What else did he say about it?
Right then he had asked me for my phone and to call his lawyer, and I gave him my phone, and he started talking on the phone with her and explaining everything to her. And I guess like they had conjured up him coming to Tallahassee for a meeting or whatever. And that's when I had driven him back to his truck.
What day was that?
That was Sunday.
Oh, okay, that was Sunday.
Yeah.
Do you know who he spoke to on the phone?
And Annabelle Diaz.
Okay. Did he give you any more details than what you've told me of maybe something that only he would know? Something that's not necessarily out there, public record at this point?
Later, not like right then, but like through the next course of the days. Because when he was first telling me about it, he had said it was these 2 random people that he had shot that I know. And then he changed his story again the next time he talked to me. I mean, he was on Xanax, so he couldn't really remember a lot of what had happened. And I guess because of being on that drug, he was just telling me stupid random stuff. And he, like, in these past couple of days, I've even, re-said all that to him. And he's like, I don't know why I would have told you that. I guess it was just the drugs. I don't know why I said any of that. None of that makes sense. But, like, as, his story would go on, he would change it every time. And then eventually he was like, no. He said that him and Brandon were riding around, I guess, like, that night and going on early into the next morning after the 4th. And he said that Brandon had mentioned to him that he knew of some guys selling drugs in Tallahassee, and that he knew that there was like pounds of marijuana and thousands of dollars in this house. And Brandon put it in his head that we should go rob them. And Cole, of course, was all fucked up and was like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And they drove over there. And Cole said that once they got there, Brandon was like, no, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. And, like, was basically, you know, wimping out of it. And Cole was like, well, you take my truck and I'm going to show you how it's done. I'm going to show you how you get stuff done. And he said that he took boxers and he wrapped it around both of his arms to cover up his tattoos, and he had a bandana covering his face. And he said he took a gun that he had, and Brandon dropped him off there, and Brandon drove off and I guess just rode around while Cole was doing this. And he said he went up to the door, knocked on it, and he said that the white boy answered the door, and he said as soon as he answered the door, he hit him with the gun, and he said he busted his teeth out and went into the house and was asking them, you know, where is it at? Where's the stuff at? This and that. And they were saying, we don't know what you're talking about. We don't have anything. And he said he hit him again. And he said that every time he would hit him, they would say, oh, okay, well, there's some bud back here. And then eventually he was saying, okay, well, we have a little bit of money, or oh, we have a gun over here. And then he said eventually he tied him up with PlayStation controllers or something like that. And he told him, or he made him get in the bathtub. And he said that he shot the white boy in the face, and he said he knew that he was dead instantly. And that the black boy was sitting there telling him that he didn't want to die. So he shot him in the stomach and in the leg. And he said that the boy tried to act like he was dead, and Cole said, I know you're not dead. You know, I know you're not dead. Where are you hit? And the kid said, I'm hit in my arm and in my leg. And then he said after that he just shot him in the head. And he took, he said they had Hungry Howie's pizza boxes in their house, and he said he took them and put them all over their stove, and he set it on fire, or turned the stoves on. And he said that by the time that he got to the front door, the whole place was engulfed in smoke, and he was trying to get out of the door, and he said he couldn't. So he took
You said why he couldn't get out of the door?
He said because of the smoke. He said it was so smoky, and like he was having just trouble getting out of the door. So he said he took either, I don't know if he said it was his gun or the boy's gun, but he said he went like that and he busted the window out. And he said that that's when he climbed out the window and he ran, and then had Brandon pick him up.
Do you know if anyone else was with them?
He said he was by himself.
So he said he went in by himself?
Yeah, he said he went in by himself.
Okay. And he said they opened the door for him, like
Yeah,
wearing a bandana and everything?
He
Maybe
said,
they
I
didn't-
don't know if he like covered up the door or wasn't in the way of the window. He just said that he looked in the window and saw them on the couch, and I don't know if they were sleeping or what. He said that he just knocked on the door, and that as soon as the boy opened the door, he hit him.
Did he say what he hit him with?
His gun. He hit him with his gun.
Did he tell you what he did with that gun?
He said afterwards, he said he threw it into some body of water. He couldn't remember where, but he said he threw it, and he couldn't remember what happened to the boxers that were wrapped around his arms, and he didn't know where his t-shirt was, and he was worried that those things were left in there.
He didn't say anything else about where he threw the gun?
Mm-mm.
And go over with me one more time what he said about what he did while he was in there. You said he would hit them and they would tell him where some more stuff was.
Yeah, like he said he hit him and was asking him, like, you know, where's the stuff at, like the drugs or like any money or anything.
What all did he take out of there?
He said
What did he
that
get?
he said that the boy had showed him told him that there was marijuana in the back, and And, you know, he hit him again, and then he had pulled one of, I don't know whether it was the white boy or the black one, but pulled money out of his pocket, and all he took was $230. So that's all they had. And he said initially, when he had tied them up and put them in the bathtub, he had told him to count to like 30, and he was going to leave. And he said that when he had done that, he had turned a certain way, and he said his bandana fell off of his face, and they saw him. And he said that's why he initially killed them, because they saw his face. And he said, I had to kill them because they saw me. And people, when they say, I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to tell who you are, he said that they never do that. So that's when he immediately shot the white boy. And then that's when the rest of everything else happened.
Did he say how many shots he fired? Or did he talk about, you said something about the victim's gun?
Yeah, and I don't know if he shot them with their own gun or his gun, or.
But what did he say about it? Because you mentioned it. You mentioned something about they told him where a gun was or something.
Yeah, I think he said the black boy told him that there was some kind of silver gun that was theirs, and he had took it. And I think that he said that he hit one of them with it. But I don't know if he shot them with their own gun or with his gun or both.
Did he say what he did with that gun?
Mm-mm.
He didn't tell you?
No.
Did you ask?
Mm-mm.
What did you ask him when he started telling you all this?
Why he did it, and like what made him go over there. And he was just explaining that him and Brandon were just being stupid riding around, and that they thought that there was a whole bunch of money over there, and it turns out that it wasn't. It was just a whole bunch of stuff just gone wrong.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you know where that money was
What money?
that he got?
I'm assuming he kept it. I don't know if it's at Nancy's house or.
Well, there was some money. I think one of the guys said they saw some money over there. Do you know?
There
if
was
that
money there, like this morning, yeah, and he was trying to get me to get it for him to put on like his account or something to buy him a sweater. That's what he asked me to
Canteen
do.
jail.
Yeah, his canteen.
Yeah, he's wanting to.
He wanted me to take the money and put it on his canteen, but
He's
the
going to
marshal.
call her and bring the money to the canteen of the jail, which she's not going to do.
But the
Did
marshal.
you hear this? Or?
No, she's just.
She
told
told
me
you
this
that. Okay.
after we left Ethan today.
And I know this is a lot. I know you're overwhelmed right now.
Yeah.
And that's understandable, given the circumstances.
Wouldn't you call her?
No, he didn't call. This is what he told her
Yeah.
this morning
Oh.
when he was being arrested.
Yeah, when he was being arrested. And then there's messages on my phone when I was at your office.
Where he was
and
called.
Annabelle, was using Annabelle's phone to text me. And he said, are you going to be at your grandma's house tonight?
It's on the
Give me
phone.
the number. And Annabelle was talking with me as well. Like they were switching the phone off. I don't know if they were in a room together. But he was like, it's Cole. I'm talking on Annabelle's phone, this and that.
It'll be on there.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's on my phone.
Yeah, and he's had her phone off, so when you just turned it on, blink, you see those things coming through, that's probably messages from that.
It's kind of a no-no on the lawyer side of the column, but a little witness tampering issue, but it's neither here nor there.
Did she say anything to you as far as not talking to us or anything to that effect?
No, and Cole
She
told
told-
me like
No,
Wednesday.
that's
right.
not 100% true. She told you not to come see me.
To see
Oh,
him,
yeah.
Yeah.
and for me to take her.
She said that if
We're gonna take her
she
to
said
her
that if
office.
I wanted to talk to her, and she said if I had an attorney, that she couldn't see me and she couldn't give me legal advice. But then she texted me and said, but if you want to come see me, come to my office in 20 minutes. I'll be there. And that's when I was at his office.
And that's a little bit of a tangent at this point. That's something that we can
Oh, yeah, that's
talk about later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But it is pertinent, I think. But you said those.
Well, now, she criticized. She told you that I was an idiot or something along that line.
She had told Cole that.
Yeah.
She had told Cole, and Cole had told me.
Yeah, so she knew that I had been your lawyer in the past.
Mhm.
So she knew.
Yeah, because he told her that.
So
And
she knew to keep you away from me.
Yeah, and
Okay,
yeah.
I see where it's going.
Yeah, I mean, it was, yeah, doesn't take a lot of rocket science to figure out what's going to happen when I find out.
Right. Were there any other text messages on there aside from that one? With
Annabelle?
Yeah. I mean, you said there were some other text messages about some threats. I wanted to get into that a little bit.
I have, you can go through, our Facebook messages where we've gotten into arguments and stuff, and he's, said things on there,
But tell me about the one that was on the phone, what happened with that incident.
What?
The June one where that he's threatened you and that the texts are kind of menacing in terms of...
Oh, when I was with Steven?
Well, whoever you're with, yeah, I don't know all that.
Well, I mean, he was just saying that, if he saw us out together, that, both of us, he was going to kill both of us
kill
and
us
stuff
both
like
for
that.
sure.
And even, in the past, when me and him got back together on my Facebook thing, it says, he would write stuff like, if Steven gets brought into any of mine and yours drama, you know what's going to happen. And, one of our last fights we got into, I got mad and I drove off, and when I went to drive off, he got his gun out of his car and he shot it into the air to get my attention, and I turned around and I looked at him and I was like, really? And then I just went ahead and I drove off, and I guess he thought that I was going to go to the Havana Police Department because it was right up the road, but I didn't. I just went straight home. And so I guess he was freaking out himself, and that's when he messaged me, and I have messages on my Facebook where he was like, what are you doing? Where are you at? I'm right behind you, just so you know they can't help you. Yada, yada, yada. And he was
also
calling me,
vandalized
freaking me out, or
our car
freaking out,
recently.
saying that, he thought that I was going to go tell on him and stuff like that. And I was like, obviously I'm not.
And this was from the previous incident, though. This was not part of this.
Yeah, this was before
Okay,
this.
just
this
establishing
occurred.
a pattern.
Yeah.
of
But tell him what he told you on Monday.
What do you mean?
About
Also
what's going
about
to happen.
the
if
people
you
that
were
have
to-
called.
Oh,
Yeah, then I was going to get to that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, he just has been saying this for the past couple of days, just as an understood thing that if I were to tell anybody or testify against him or anything like that, that what happened to those boys would also happen to me.
And he said that to you verbally?
Yeah.
Or was that over
he
a
said
text
it.
message?
He said it verbally to me.
And where were you at when he said that?
We were in his car. We were at his grandmother's house. He's been saying it to me since the incident occurred. And he's also said it to Brandon, and he said it to Charles, which was the other person that I knows about.
Who is this Charles guy?
Charles Reagan is one of his friends who was at the house, Chris Gerald's house, where we were when we were picking his truck up. And Charles was coming outside, and he was could tell something was wrong on Cole's face. And Cole's like, I don't want to talk to you, Charles. I don't want to talk to you. And Charles was drunk, and he just kept badgering him.
And real quick, Brandon
Chisholm, I think that's his name.
Chisholm,
Chishlm, or something like that. It might be pronounced Chisholm with a silent L, but I know that has an L in it. But he was the one that was with Cole the night.
he's the one
That was
went
with
there
Cole.
with him.
Yeah, but he dropped him off there, went and drove around, and then came back and picked him up. And then Cole took Brandon home, and then that's when Cole was calling me freaking out. And then I had also called Brandon that morning asking him what was going on, and he was acting like he didn't know anything. And was just telling me, Mercedes, if anything happens, just know that Cole was with you the whole time, right? And I said, what are you talking about?
Who said this? I'm sorry.
Brandon Chisholm.
Okay, so he was trying to tell you what to say.
Yeah. Because I was calling him. I said, Cole keeps calling me, and he's sitting here saying it's 7 o'clock at night, and it's 7 o'clock in the morning. What's wrong with him? What have you guys been doing? He goes, nothing. I don't know what's going on. Cole, he's crazy, Mercedes. And he goes, all I know is he's coming to your house, and if anything were to happen or if anything gets brought up, he was with you the whole time, okay? And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, just he was with you the whole time, okay? And I said, yeah, okay.
Can you describe Brandon to me?
As
As far as what he looks like?
Country.
Do you happen to have his cell phone? You have his number?
I think I do have Brandon's number in my phone.
It's in your phone?
It's
Okay.
in my phone, yeah. And
Is it a local number, or do you know
I
any
think
of
it's a
them?
661 number like mine. It's 850-661 something. And he lives off of Highway 20.
Shocking.
Tell him about what you had said about him wanting you to contact the gang and do a text to him.
Oh, his friend.
Well, hold that thought.
Yeah, go ahead.
said Brandon's number was a 661 as well.
I believe it is.
If I were to say the last four, would you recognize
I
it?
wouldn't.
Okay,
Mm-mm.
I'm not going to worry about it. I could probably figure it out.
Yeah, he's in my phone under Brandon. Just Brandon. And he's the only Brandon in my phone that doesn't have a last name.
And could you go over his height, weight, what he looks like?
He's about my height.
How tall would you say you are?
I'm like 5'8".
5'8"?
Yeah. He's got blonde hair, short. He did have facial hair, but he's recently shaved it off. Pointy nose, blue eyes.
So you don't-
Blue or green eyes.
So you don't think Brandon's 6'3"?
No.
He's not 6'3"?
No, Cole's like 6'3".
How many times have you seen Brandon?
Too many to count.
If I were to show you a picture of him, you could easily identify him off a single photograph because
Yeah.
he's known to you,
Yeah.
correct? Okay. Let me get a photograph of Brandon, and I'll see if you can say, yeah, that's the guy.
Okay.
All right. And I'll check the status of your phone, but let me have somebody else get that photo, and then I will talk to you about the other text messages or
I'm
something.
wanting her to text a gang of people.
Yeah, the Erie Nation.
Okay, tell me about all that.
Yesterday, Cole was telling me that his friend Tyler, I don't know his last name, but his name's Tyler. And I have a picture of him on my phone, actually, that Cole sent me of him. And I don't know, he's somewhere down south right now, but he's coming back up here soon to
Is
live.
he from here? Or?
I'm not sure, but he just recently got released from prison last Tuesday or the Tuesday before.
Mhm.
And he told Tyler that, if anything were to go wrong within these next couple of days, and if anybody were to go testify, meaning Brandon or Charles, that I was supposed to call him and tell him, 21212, which is their whatever code for, shit's hit the fan or
What
whatever.
is it? What is it?
21212.
21212 is a code.
Yeah, it's like their thing of like, I don't know, they say it to each other every time they get on the phone with one another. They say like 1488, and it's all this stuff that he has tattooed all over his body, and it's like all things that mean something to them, and with numbers and letters and it all, I don't know what it all fucking means, but means something to them. But I was supposed to call him, tell him that, and he would know by me saying that he was supposed to come up here and either kill Charles, Brandon, or even if something had happened and that was still related to him, maybe me, and he said that all I was supposed to do from that point on, if that was going to happen, Tyler told him all I would have to do would buy him a bus ticket to get up here. But he never gave me Tyler's number or anything to call, but I'm assuming that, he thought that I guess he was going to give it to me from some point on. But I never got the number from him, so I don't know his number. But I do have a picture of him on my phone.
Why would he ask to have Tyler kill Charles?
Because Charles also knew.
Was he a part of it?
No.
How did he know? How do you know that he knew?
Because when we were leaving Chris's house, Cole was backing out, and I was leaving like this, so I couldn't leave until Cole backed all the way out. And like I said, Charles kept pestering him, like, what's wrong, what's wrong? And Cole had told him, if you don't get away from me, I'm going to fucking kill you right now. Like, get the fuck away from me. I don't want to talk to you right now. Something's going on, and I can't talk to you about it. And Charles had gone up to his car when they were leaving, and I was in my car. So I was assuming in my head, okay, he's telling Charles right now. But I didn't know at this point. I still didn't know. And I saw Charles lean into the truck, and he was hugging him. And I guess, 2 days later, Cole was telling me that he was crying. That's Brandon. I can tell you that's Brandon.
Just from looking at the backside of
That's
it?
Brandon.
Okay, go ahead and look at it, just confirm it.
That's Brandon.
If you would initial it and date it, please.
Not getting better than that. Be easy from that.
What's today's date?
The 8th.
And now he doesn't have that facial hair. He shaved it off.
Clean shave. Okay. So, this guy, according to Cole, is the one that came up with the idea
Mm-hmm.
and knew who the victims
Yeah.
were. And then he chickened out.
Yeah.
And that's, you know this from Cole telling
From
you
Cole
this.
telling me.
Okay.
And also because after everything had happened, we had gone over to Brandon's house to get the rest of Cole's clothes, and Cole was sitting there retelling the scenario of what happened inside the house. And
He was telling that to
Brandon.
And this,
and
where
Brandon-
did this occur again? I'm
At
sorry.
This happened at Brandon's house, which is off of Highway 20, off of a road called.
Was this while you were there or you weren't there?
What do you mean?
You were there to hear this?
Yeah, I was there listening to Cole tell this to
Okay.
Brandon.
And this was Sunday or Monday?
I think this was like Monday.
This was Monday.
Yeah, this was like a day or so after everything had like occurred.
Okay, and he lives out Highway 20?
Highway 20 off of, like, you're going on Highway 20, and it's like at the beginning of Highway 20 where all that construction's going on. And it's like the first road, and there's like still traffic cones from road work, and it's called, I don't know if it's Smitty Drive or Smitty Way or something, but it's Smitty something. And if you
Right
go,
past these tires.
yeah, I don't know, but if you go straight, it's a dirt road, and if you go straight down it and keep to the right,
Smitty Drive or Smitty Way is a dirt road?
yeah, Smitty Way, I think that's what it is. I think it's Smitty Way.
Is it dirt right off of 20?
Yeah,
Okay, so first,
yeah, it's
Right
like
off
it's like
20
the
is a
first
dirt.
right if you're going on 20 heading towards like Tallahassee.
okay, is it past Capitol Circle, I think?
Yeah, like if you can, like
Yeah,
if you're on
past
Pensacola Street and
keep
you just
going.
if you go straight down Pensacola,
Mhm.
you'll eventually come to like that
Capitol
area,
Circle,
yeah,
the
and
big
that
intersection.
construction going on. And if you go over that past that little gas station, it's like the first dirt road right.
How far past would you estimate?
I
Half
would
mile.
say like half a mile, and it's called Smitty something. And you go down that road, and you would keep to the right the whole time, and you go all the way down, and then you just keep going right, and then eventually you get to his house. It's way back in the back. He lives in a little tiny cabin that's smaller than this room, and his grandfather lives right next to him in an RV. It's his grandfather's property.
So Brandon's grandfather lives in an RV?
Yeah, and that's the first thing you would pull up on, and then next to Brandon's grandfather's RV is Brandon's little like cabin or shack, I guess you could say, and that's where he lives. And then
What color is it?
It's like, I think it's green. It's like a green wooden little cabin thing that he built it himself. And then another guy lives out there in like a house type of trailer thing, and his name's Adrian. And I think that's Brandon's cousin.
What does Brandon drive?
He doesn't have a car.
And you said the other guy was
Charles.
Reagan,
Yeah.
and is that where they burned the clothes?
It wasn't at Charles's house. Charles lived in that house at one point, but he doesn't live there anymore.
Sorry,
But that's
like
Chris
front page.
Gerald's house was where the burning of the clothes happened, and that's where that conversation occurred between him and Cole.
Between Chris or between?
Between Cole and Charles, but it was
Charles.
at Chris's house.
Was Chris present?
No, he was not present
So-
at any time.
So, as we know, and as you know now, Cole has or has not told Chris about what happened.
Yeah, as far as I know, Brandon, me, and Charles were the only people that knew about it.
Okay. And just reiterating, Brandon was the only other person involved in this as far as what Cole told you. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah.
Okay. What happened when the marshals surrounded your house this morning?
I was sleeping, and I was woken up by the doorbell being rung, and simultaneously Cole shaking me, saying, "Wake up, wake up, wake up." And I was like, "What's going on?" And he said, "The federal marshals are here." And I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, are you joking with me? Like, what's going on?" And then I heard them banging on the door and, saying, "This is, federal marshals, call out if you're in there, etc." And I was like freaking out. I was like, "I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. What are we going to do?" And he said, "Well, they're here to get me, Mercedes. I'm going to prison forever. That's what's about to happen." And I said, "Okay, well, should we go answer the door?" And he said, No, we're not going to answer the door." And I said, "Okay, well, what are we doing?" And he was like, fumbling around, and he had a bag, and he ripped this bag open, and he took out like a scale and a sifter and a grinder, and he threw the grinder in his grandma's trash can in her bathroom, and he was taking the scale and the sifter, and he tossed him at me and gave them to me and was like, "Go dump these in the toilet." So I went in there and I threw them in the toilet, and he was like, "No, wash them off." And I was like, "I don't know, what you want me to do," and this and that. And so then he got in there and was washing them off, took it out and threw those directly beside it, and then he started flushing a whole bunch of stuff down the toilet.
Do you know what it was that he flushed? What was it?
I think it was cocaine.
Did he have any Xanax in there, in the house?
No.
That you know of?
No, he had bought Xanax on July 3rd, and he was buying one for me because my arm was all bruised up from when me and him had gotten into an argument, and he had grabbed me. And I was supposed to get pain medication, I was going to take one of my grandmother's that morning, and I went to get her prescriptions filled, and they wouldn't fill that one prescription. So that's when I had asked him if he would bring me, something. And he was like, "Okay, I'll bring you a Xanax." And then when he got to my house later on the night, he was all fucked up on them. And I got mad at him, and I was like, "Why are you taking them? I'm taking them because I'm physically hurting, and I don't even want to take them. And you're sitting here taking them just to be fucked up." And, of course, we argued again about, why is it okay for you to take something but not me, and whatever. And I said, "How many did you buy?" And he said, "I bought 100 of them." And he had showed me a little bag, and he had a little ball of just nothing but like little skinny bars like that. And I guess, over into the next day, I had invited him out to my aunt's house for the 4th of July to go swimming with us.
Okay.
And all day he was, texting me, I'm coming, I'm going to be out there. I was texting him, "Where are you?" the whole time, and this and that. And when he finally got there, he was, fucked up on them again. And me and him had gotten into another argument.
This was during the daytime?
It was in the afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah, in late afternoon.
Was the sun still up, or was it down?
It was going down. It was probably around, and you can check on text messages, it'll show probably around 5, 6 o'clock, sun going down. And then I went with him to Sunset, I believe. And at this point, I had drank a little too much, and I had bleeped out. So I don't really remember a whole lot about going off with him somewhere. And I came to in the car with him, and we were still arguing, and he was like, "I don't think I can do this with you anymore," and blah, blah, blah. He's like, "I just need to go be by myself. I'm going to go hang out with Brandon, and you go do your thing with your family, and I'll see you later on tonight. I'll come home," meaning coming back to my house. And
where do you live?
In Havana.
Okay.
And that's when, he wouldn't text me, he wasn't responding to anything, and I was okay, well, I'm just going to go home. And he was, messaging me.
What time was this?
This was late into the night, probably around 9:30ish, 10.
Mm-hmm.
And because I remember I was in my bed by 10:30, because I was like, I'm just going to go to bed. And we were arguing so much, and he was being all pitiful because of the Xanax. And he was like, "I'm just going to go take the rest of these that I have, and I'm going to go drive down I-10, and whatever happens, happens." And I was like, "Don't do that. I wish you would just come home with me and stop being a freaking asshole and stop taking these damn pills, because they're making you act weird and crazy, and like you're just not being you, and like you don't care about anything. Like he had no care for my emotions and nothing. And I was like, no, we just can't be around each other right now. I'll just see you later. I said, okay, and then I just went home and I went to bed, and then that's when I started waking up, which was Sunday morning at 7 a.m. with him calling me, and we got into an argument on the phone, and he was like, I was like, why are you acting like this crazy? I was like, it's 7 o'clock in the morning, Cole, because he's like, why are you still asleep right now, this and that. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's 7 in the morning. Why are you not asleep? He goes, no, it's 7 o'clock at night, Mercedes. I'm like, no, it's not. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. I was like, I don't know what fucking time frame you're on or what, but the pills have obviously are messing with you. And that's when I got off the phone with him, because he was like, freaking out and stuff, and I called Brandon, and I was like, what the hell's going on? He goes, oh, I don't know what's going on. I haven't seen him in a while. He's going to come to your house, though, and just so you know, he's been with you. If anything happens, if anything said, he was with you, all right? And I was like, all right.
Didn't he tell you something about wanting to be shut out by the police today?
No, he's been telling me that if and when it came down to all of this, like with him getting caught, he said that if he was driving down the road or whatever and he had a gun, he was going to he was going to have them shoot it out with him and kill him, or he was going to ask for the death penalty, because he said he didn't want to spend life in prison. And then the past couple of days as well, he's been telling me that he didn't want to be around me and that I didn't need to be around him for this week, because he knew that if he got caught, I was going to go down with him because of everything that I had been, doing with him, staying with him and him coming to my house, taking a shower and everything like that. He was like, you're in what is it?
I think he used accomplice.
Accomplice or accessory or whatever to this and that. He said life in prison and the death penalty and all that. He goes, that would not kill me as much as you having to serve the rest of your life in prison for my mistake. He said, I did this, and this is my fault, and I don't want you to get in trouble.
And I got to ask you this because it's going to be asked. When he disclosed all this to you, why did you not call the police immediately?
Because I didn't know what to do, and he had told me, if you go tell anybody, the same thing's going to happen to you. So I was scared for my life. Okay. And also, especially with him sitting there telling me, because he was also telling me, he said, I'm not really worried about Brandon, and I'm somewhat not worried about you, but this whole thing with Charles, he was contemplating killing Charles. Because he's like, and he goes, he's my best friend. I've known him my whole life. So for him to sit there and tell me, you're going to kill your best friend of your whole life, and I'm your girlfriend, and,
To tell the detective that, but he'd been physically rough with you on that.
Yeah, he's been rough with me. He's held a gun to my face.
What about his cell phone?
It's in that house somewhere.
What kind of phone was it?
It was an iPhone. I don't know what style it was. It wasn't a new one. I think it was like a 4 or something like that.
You say you broke it?
Yeah, he broke it this morning.
How did he do that?
Over Nancy's bedpost. He smashed it.
Did he say why he did that?
No, he just started doing it.
Is this when the marshals were there?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I'm wondering if your phone is done. Let me go check the status of it. And then we'll see where we're at from there. Kind of see if my sergeant has any other questions or anything like that. You said you went to Charles's house?
No, I went to Chris's house.
Chris's house?
Yeah. And Charles was there.
Where's Chris's
We can
house?
get Brandon's number
It's
off
in
that.
Havana, directly across from the baseball field.
Brandon's number. Oh, wait,
661.
wait till he's ready. You ain't get Tyler's phone. Do you have Tyler's phone? Or you have
No,
Tyler's picture?
I
Show him,
don't.
give him the phone number, then show him the picture.
Okay, so he burned the stuff at Chris's house,
Yes.
but he was there with Charles.
Charles was there when we got there. Okay, we went there, burned all the stuff, went to my house, shower, he slept, and then we went back to Chris's house to get his truck. And Charles was there, and Charles walked out of Chris's house then, and that's when me and Cole were leaving.
But, and just let me clarify this, because, sorry, I haven't had a lot of sleep here, but
It's okay.
you said that you guys went to Chris's house
Mhm.
to burn the clothing.
Mhm. After I put gas in his car, that's where because Cole's not allowed at my house, so I couldn't have his truck at my house. So we always would take it to Chris's house, which is right down the road in Havana.
So you guys go to Chris's house to burn clothing?
Cole wanted to go there to leave his truck, and he took off his clothes there and put them in a barrel in Chris's backyard and burnt it. Yes.
Was it just the clothes he was wearing, or was there
It
anything
was
else?
it was the clothes he was wearing. It was a pair of jeans, a white pair of polo shoes, and another cell phone. It was like one of those phones you buy at Walmart and you just throw anywhere if you don't want it anymore. I guess one of those, whatever you call them,
Yeah.
track phone or
Track phone, yeah.
drug dealer phone, disposable phone.
And there was something I just thought about, that just kind of going over all this in my mind again. Did he get marijuana from the victim's house?
No, he didn't say that he did. Not that I know of, did he? He just said $230.
Did he give any of that money to this guy?
Not that I know of.
Did he say that they split the money?
He did
or-
not say. He didn't say whether he...
One way or the other, he
Yeah,
didn't
he
tell
didn't,
you?
no, he didn't tell me if he kept it. He didn't tell me none of that. He just said that the kid pulled $230 out of his pocket and said those kids lost their lives over $230.
Wow. And do you think some of that $230 was at the house?
It could have been. I don't know for sure.
All right, let me go, let me
Do you
go.
need Brandon's number, the rest of it?
Yeah.
It's 661-2518. And I don't know if that's still his number, because I know, like, day before yesterday, Cole had texted me that Brandon was going to get his new phone turned on. So I don't know if he's got a new number now.
Pull up the picture of this winter from South Florida so he can...
Oh, Tyler.
Did Cole tell you?
Cole's in the white and Tyler's in the black.
Is he older?
I don't know. He just said it's one of his brothers from prison that he was in prison with.
How long ago was this photo taken?
I can tell you on my phone.
Well, I mean, just approximately.
Within the last week.
Those are the shoes he burned?
I
Oh,
could-
it went off.
Oh, somebody's calling you.
Don't take it.
Don't answer it.
Just exit.
Yeah, those were the shoes he was wearing.
That he burned, I mean.
Yeah.
Let me see. Same tattoos.
Yeah, they all have the same
He's in the
tattoos.
gang then?
Yes, that's what, when I say it's one of
Okay.
his brothers, that's what that means.
Let me see this.
And that was the day that he got out of prison. Cole went to meet him somewhere.
How long have you been dating him?
I would say on and off since the end of March when he got out.
Okay. Did he ever discuss with you why he got his tattoos or anything like that?
His gang that he was in, that he was affiliated with inside prison.
Did he ever tell you that he was forced to get those, or did he do it on his own free will? Or did he ever talk about that to you?
Yeah, I mean, he said that there was this guy named Sandman, that's what he went by, that took him under his wing when he first got in there, because when he first got in there, he was beat up to the point of, like, you know, passed out, you know, shit on himself and everything by, like, a group of black guys. And he said that once he healed from it and everything, that guy, like, took him under his wing. And, you know, basically he described it as he was brainwashed, you know, into thinking that, you know, that's the way of life and the way you handle things, and that in prison that's how things are. You either get down with them or you lay down, meaning, you know, they're going to run your life. And he decided to group up with them because, you know, he was white and they took a liking to him, and he had no, like, wasn't afraid to do things for them, I guess you could say. And I guess whoever the black guy was that beat him up when he first got in there, he said that after he was healed up and was affiliated with them, that was his first job, was to go, you know, get revenge of that. And he went and stabbed and killed that guy in prison.
The Sandman guy did?
The Sandman guy had, like, told Cole to go do that.
Cole
And
did it?
Cole
Oh,
did it.
so
Yeah,
Cole did it.
Yeah, that's what he told me. And he says that he's, you know, stabbed multiple people and killed people in the chain gang. That's what he calls it.
Mm-hmm. Before I forget, we need to find that burn barrel in Chris's house.
It's in the back of his house.
Do you think Chris would be okay with us going back there and looking at it?
I don't know.
Okay, that's a question we'll ask him. And if he's not okay, we'll get a search warrant. Did he ever say, did Cole ever tell you about that money he got? Did he tell you, and I may have asked this already, did he tell you who or where he got it from?
The money that he has, that was at Nancy's house?
Well, both. But I'm talking about the money that he said those guys lost their life over.
Did the black guy give it to him or the white guy? Did you?
I
What
don't
was it?
know. I don't know which one of them pulled it out of their pocket to give it to them. But I think he said the white guy, but I don't know for sure. Like, my...
And what about the money that was in the house? Where did that come from?
He said that there wasn't anything in there. He said that, you know, with Brandon telling him all that stuff, that's why he was saying it was just everything gone wrong. He said that there wasn't what Brandon said was in there. There was not pounds of weed. There was not thousands of dollars. He said all those kids had was a pistol, a little bit of weed, and $230. And because his mask fell off was the reason why he shot them. He said that when his mask fell off, that the kids looked at each other and then looked back at him with their eyes wide, as if they knew that they were about to die, because he couldn't let them see his face.
And did he burn that, or did he burn that mask?
He says he doesn't know what happened to it. He said he didn't know what happened to the boxers that he wrapped around his arms and the mask or his shirt. He said he didn't know what happened to it. And he said, as for the gun, he said, I don't know where I threw it. He said, I just know it was in a body of water. And he said he thinks that it's in the lake that's in front of his house. Because there's a little lake pond thing
And
you'll
this is-
pass going to Brandon's house. And he says he thinks he threw it in there, but he doesn't know. But he says he knows that he threw the gun in a body of water.
And this would have been by Smitty Road or whatever?
This would have been on Smitty Road.
So once you turn onto it.
Once you turn onto Smitty Road, it's like a dirt road, and then you're going to have a couple of like forks, but you're going to stay to the right the whole time. If you stay to the right the whole time, you will end up in Brandon's grandfather's land, which is all the way at the end of it, and you're going to pass like a couple of houses, little trailers, and things like that.
Who's that?
I don't know. I have like a million missed calls from completely random numbers.
Probably.
Okay. But this pond, this body of water, they're going to be able to find it?
If they were to
Well, I
look
mean,
in it,
well,
but I don't know.
Here's my
Assuming
question.
that it's in that.
Have you ever gone down there to this guy's place?
Yeah, I know where exactly.
So
where
if
it
you've
is.
gone to his place, do you pass a body of water? Is it something you could throw
That's
from your
what I'm
vehicle?
saying. Yeah. Yeah.
Or did you get out of the vehicle and
You
like
would,
chuck it?
I think
or-
you could stay in your car and throw it in there. Yeah.
It's like a retention pond or something?
How big is it? Is it like a
It's-
pond or a puddle
it's
or
like-
a lake? I mean,
It's like a pond, I guess you would say.
Like a runoff pond.
Like what's in front of Granddaddy's house, like the big house. It's like a nasty little algae
It's
filled
a
thing.
runoff
Like you wouldn't
to
want to
sewer.
swim. You wouldn't want to swim in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like LCSO's going swimming.
maybe. But he doesn't. He didn't say.
He
for
said
sure
he
it
doesn't
was that.
remember.
But he said he thought it was that
He
one.
says he thinks he might. He said, I think I might have thrown it into Brandon's lake, but I don't know for sure. And he says the only reason why he thinks that is because their next stop was taking Brandon home. After everything occurred, Brandon was so scared, I guess, that Cole just took him home.
So they drove Cole's truck to go do the robbery, or did they drive?
They were in Cole's truck, yes. And then once they got there, Brandon got scared, wouldn't do it. Cole said, okay, you take my truck, you go drive around, and I'll call you in 10 or 15 minutes. And Cole went in there, did what he did, came back out, and then called Brandon, and Brandon came and picked him up. And then they went riding around, and then Brandon took Brandon home.
He took Brandon,
Yeah, he got back in.
and then his truck ran out of gas.
Well, actually, no, I guess Brandon would have drove home because he said he was sitting in the passenger seat.
But they were driving Cole's truck.
Yeah, Cole's grandma's truck. The white one.
But then he ran out of gas in the truck.
After he took Brandon home.
After he
Yeah,
took
in
him.
Havana, he ran out in the middle of
And that's
Havana.
when he called you.
Yeah, that's when he called me.
So I think I'm caught up with everything. Was there anything else you had that she told you that we
No,
haven't
but-
covered here during this interview?
No, that's pretty only the thing about the guy with the Aryan Nation nonsense. He had pretty much told her early on that he was thinking about if she said anything, she would end up like the two boys. And then once he gets arrested, she's pretty quick on
Yeah.
coming to Jesus.
And the reason I asked you about the tattoos and stuff like that is because somebody had kind of said that people forced him to do it and that he was ashamed of them and blah, blah,
He
blah.
was ashamed of them. He wanted to get a lot of them covered up. When me and him first started being together, he actually called his, the heads of, I guess, because, the way it works, it's all,
Did he get them on the
sergeants.
inside, I guess?
Yeah, he got them in
Okay.
prison. They're all, pick and poke or things like that. All of his tattoos that he has besides, the Rayborn on his back and then the Florida emblem, those are the only two he ever got on, out here in the world.
Okay.
But all the other ones are all in prison that he got them.
And he was ashamed of them.
Yeah.
So that was a true statement.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He was very ashamed of them.
He's told me that too.
He wanted to get them covered up, but I had taken him to a couple of my tattoo friends, and one of them, of course, was black, and he was like, I'm not sorry, but I'm not covering him up for him because he wanted to get he wanted to get his shins covered up because it says white power down his legs, and then he wanted to get this colored in, and then his patch right here. But he said everything else wasn't really offensive besides, of course, the Confederate flag, but.
Yeah, okay. All right, let me go talk to my bosses. I think they're probably up to speed, but let me just make sure there's nothing else we didn't hit and touch base on. You've got your phone?
Yeah.
All right, I'll be right back with you guys.
How is she supposed to handle all these calls? I'm sure they're coming in from these people.
Just turn the phone off.
Who are all these?
Just turn it off. Just turn
It's burner phones. I'm sure it's
Yeah.
Brandon.
I
And
think this 558 number is the jail. Wouldn't that be the jail?
No, jail's either 577 or 606. Just don't take the calls. Turn off the phone.
And people that you don't know don't answer it, Mercedes.